Hey everyone, and welcome back. So today, we're diving into something that honestly feels like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. We're looking at a project that can reverse engineer an entire website, creating a brand spanking new modern code base from nothing but a URL. Let's see how it actually works. So I want you to picture this, because I'm sure we've all been there. You inherit a project, but the source code, yeah, it's long gone. Or maybe you're trying to drag a client kicking and screaming off some old, clunky platform like WordPress or Squarespace. It is an absolute nightmare, and it's a headache that developers deal with all the time.
Now, what if I told you that you could solve that entire problem with just one single command? Well, that is the insane promise behind the AI website cloner template, is trying to turn that grueling manual process into something automated, something that feels, well, a little bit like magic.
So, what is this thing really? And look, we need to be clear here. This is not just some fancy web scraper. Oh no, it's a completely purpose-built, AI-powered solution.
So here's the official scoop from the project itself. This tool uses AI coding agents to analyze a live website and then rebuild it from the ground up as a clean, modern Next.js project. So it's not just, ripping the HTML and CSS. It's actually generating a brand new, modern application from scratch.
And what I think is super cool here is the flexibility. This thing isn't locked into one specific AI model. It actually supports a whole range of them. You've got GitHub Copilot, Cursor, Gemini, you name it. Now, the folks who built it say Claude Code gives you the best results, but honestly, the fact that you can swap in whatever you want, that's a huge deal.
All right, so how in the world does it actually pull this off? Well, the real magic here isn't one big, messy AI prompt. It's actually this really clever multi-step pipeline that systematically takes a website apart and then puts it back together again. Let's pop the hood and take a look.
Okay, so the whole thing is broken down into these 5 distinct phases. It all starts with Reconnaissance, which is where the AI just studies the site, taking screenshots, analyzing how it works. Then it moves to Foundation, where it sets up the basic building blocks. After that, it writes super detailed component specs. And then we get to the parallel build phase, which is just brilliant. It spins up multiple AI agents to build different pieces of the site all at the same time. And finally, everything gets pulled together in assembly and QA.
No guessing. I love this. This little phrase from the docs is basically the core philosophy behind this whole project, and it's what makes this tool so incredibly precise. So what does that actually mean? Well, no guessing means the AI isn't just, kind of looking at the design and taking a wild stab at it. No way. It programmatically goes in and pulls the exact computed CSS values for every single element on the page. We're talking colors, fonts, spacing, all of it. It uses that super precise data to write a detailed blueprint for each component before it ever writes a single line of new code.
Okay, let's talk about the tech stack, because this is where you see the real value. The code that this thing spits out isn't some tangled, messy relic. The whole idea is to give you something clean, performant, and most importantly, something a real developer can actually work with.
And man, just look at what it builds with. We're talking a top-tier, cutting-edge stack. You've got Next.js with the app router, React 19, and strict TypeScript. For the styling, it's using the super popular Tailwind CSS and shadcn/UI. This isn't just some random pile of tech. This is the dream stack, right? This is exactly what you'd want to build with today. In this donut chart, which is pulled right from the project's own GitHub repo, kind of tells the story. With TypeScript way out in the lead, it just screams modern, safe code base. And that's exactly what you're looking for when you need a project that's easy to maintain and scale.
Okay, so obviously a tool this powerful, yeah, we have to talk about the ethics here. Because with great power comes great responsibility. And the creators are really clear about this.
So this is super important. The creators are really clear about how you should and should not use this. It's designed for good things, right? Like migrating your own website, recovering your own lost code, or just for learning how a complex site was built. What it's not for is anything sketchy. No phishing, no impersonating other sites, and definitely no stealing someone's hard work and passing it off as your own.
And this is the bottom line, the golden rule here. Before you even think about pointing this tool at a URL, you have to check that site's terms of service. Basically, just be a good citizen of the web, right? Respect the rules and respect other people's work. And just to give you an idea of how much this has resonated with people, the project has already racked up over 8,300 stars on GitHub, and that number is climbing fast. This is clearly not just some niche experiment. It's a tool that has captured the imagination of a lot of developers. So all of this really leaves you with a pretty wild question, doesn't it? We're watching AI go from writing little code snippets to building entire complex applications just from a visual. How long is it before this kind of thing becomes a standard part of every developer's workflow? It really feels like we're getting a sneak peek at the future of web development, and it is pretty wild to think about.